For part 2, we will be attaching the flowers and the other piece of cording to hold our banner up. Starting with the small poinsettias, separate out the tails from the back of the flowers. Then between the two flags where you have the 3 flower sets that you skipped, you'll take the tails and push them through the one in the center on each side of that flower set. Once it's pushed through, go ahead and tie a square knot. Once your square knot is tied, go ahead and pick out the longest tail from tying it and thread it in your yarn needle. Here you will want to take a little bit of time spreading your flower out, all the layers from the flower, so that one side of your flower will be tacked down to the edges of the flag's border on both sides. Working up through the back of the flag, go through all the layers, leaf or flower, that are there in front of you and tack down. Remember to only skip one stitch when you're working in the front. This will help spread out the petals on the flower so you can see the whole thing a little bit better. And also with tacking it to the flag's borders, it will make the flower not fall forward when you hang your banner. When you've made it all the way around your flower, go ahead and push your yarn strand to the back and tie a slip knot. Since all the tails from the square knot of tying the flower on will be in the back, I go ahead and just trim them off because they will be in the back and not be shown. Repeat that process with the other small poinsettia for the other space between the other 2 flags. Here I'm showing the Romanian point lace where you just fold it over and take the tail from the beginning, and you'll sew back and forth through the cording until you know that it's secure. And then once you've gone back and forth a few times, tie a slip knot and then weave in that end. I went ahead and just weaved it up through the hollow part of the cording. The tail that's left from attaching the flags together with that trim piece, that can be done the same with going up through the cording, or you can weave it back and forth through the bottom of the slip stitches. And here it is, it's nice and secure. Here's what it looks like in the back. Next, take your one piece of 4 to 5 inch of cording and then just tie a square knot with the 2 tails, and then take one of the tails and sew it not only through the cording but through the trim's slip stitches so that it is attached and secure. And then weave in the tails the same way. After I tied the square knot, I went ahead and took both the tails and threaded them in a yarn needle and then weaved them in the bottom of stitches here. Lastly, for the large poinsettias, do the same as you did with the small on the 3 flower sets at each end of the banner. My tails here were not long enough for me to use to go around the flower and tack it down to the flag's border and spread the leaves and petals out. I just grabbed another strand of yarn and continued to go around the flower with that And then when I met back up with my beginning tail, tied a square knot and weaved in my ends. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you that have joined me in my first crochet along ever. It has been a real experience, and I have appreciated all of your comments and questions. I have learned so much from you. Look next week for a thank you pattern from me, and have a great week.